Hi, my name's Andy.
My name is RJ.
And this is Hiking with Andy.
And RJ.
So we are at the Maston Hill Park and we're gonna do the Maston Hill Loop Trail. And it's nice to see no horses or ATVs. And I guess it is normally a bike trail, but I think they are having some issues with the trail, so they're only doing hikers as of now. We're out in St. Charles County, and I do have a friend with me, so I'm not doing it alone today, but we're trying out a county park, which neither of us have done before. It's going to be a little 3.4 mile hike. It should be really pretty. I haven't been able to get out on the trail lately because it's been raining like crazy, and I'm hoping it's not going to be too muddy. So we were in luck. There was nobody here in the parking lot, which I'm super excited about. And for a little bit, we were kind of thinking we were going to be in somebody's backyard because you go through a little residential area before you get over here, but then the big sign came up with the county park, so that was reassuring. I have no idea if there's going to be flippable rocks here today. I think it's more just about trying something new. I also have been running out of places to go in the St. Louis area. I've kind of hit all of the major areas, but I am going down to the lake this weekend, and I'm hoping to film something while I'm down there. And I have kind of an exciting trip coming up. I'm hoping I can film while I'm there. I'm traveling for work. It will be super, super cool if I am able to, but no guarantees. So we were looking at the trail map, and it looks like there's a lot of smaller trails. We are gonna rely on all trails today just to make sure we're going in the right direction. But so far, it's just kind of been this woodland area. I'm assuming it'll open up at some point, and maybe there'll be rocks to flip. But we could also just see something out today. You never know what's gonna happen when you go in the woods. Well, we have our first wildlife sighting. Hello, little lady. We're not gonna bother you, I promise. She looks good. Sometimes you see the deer and they don't look very good, but she looks good. That's always a good sign. We'll leave you alone. Bye-bye. When you see like ruts in the terrain, kind of like this, it's usually one of two things. It's either an armadillo or a box turtle. I'm thinking this is probably an armadillo, just based on how deep the holes are. But armadillos will come out here searching for bugs that they like to eat, and then box turtles, they just seem to always rut up the areas, and it is box turtle season, so please be on the lookout when you're driving around and try to move them from where you're going. The rule about box turtles is you always take them in the direction that they were going. Obviously, try to pull off on the side of the road and put your hazards and don't put your life in jeopardy. But they want to go in the direction that they were going. Try not to make them go the other way. And box turtles are on the move right now for breeding reasons. So just help a brother or sister out and put them on the other side of the road. So it looks like this tree decided that it wanted to get more sunlight and it just grew completely crooked, but it's still alive, so it's doing something right. I was talking about how there's a whole bunch of different kinds of trails, and it's so interesting because right at the crossroads, it has a marker. It says you are here, and it tells you exactly which way you're going. So whoever decided to put that up, smart. Thank you. So it looks like most of the trail is just pretty wooded, which I do like. Gives you a lot of cover. It is not warm at all. Really good shade. The only problem with that, especially if you go first, there's spider webs everywhere. I walked into about 10, and when RJ was in front, he really didn't have that issue. So I guess the spider webs just decided that it was my turn to experience that. Another thing you do have to worry about in these kind of woodland trail areas are ticks, especially in the Midwest and forested areas. Tick illnesses or illnesses that you get from tick bites have been on the rise. I know at least one individual who has alpha-gal, which I knew nothing about until a couple of years ago. And honestly, I think I would much rather have Lyme's disease than alpha-gal, because alpha-gal makes it so you aren't able to eat red meat at all. You become highly allergic, almost deathly allergic to red meat. And sometimes you can kind of grow out of it, or sometimes it's a lifelong thing. And I really think that would suck. And we've come to a stream. How pretty. There's another stream. So the cool thing about muddy places is this is obviously a dog paw print, but these are all raccoon prints, which is always kind of nice to see. Oh, we have a green leopard frog. Awesome. I don't know if you were able to see him, but like their name suggests, they do have like green spots on them. And also, while I was back here, I thought this was kind of cool. There are these mushrooms that are bright orange, and it's starting to be part of the season where we have all the thorns and spiky stuff, but look how cool. Look how bright orange this guy is. We have a bright orange mushroom and a smaller version of it. But yeah, you don't see very many things that are bright orange or red in the woods, so very, very cool. And I'm realizing that this is spiky because this is a blackberry bush. These are the itty bitty blackberries that have not started to fruit completely yet, but they're getting their buds. But yeah, of course I walk right into a blackberry bush. If you've seen any of my other videos, the leopard frogs sound kind of like they're laughing at you, which is one of my favorite things about their call. Pretty identifiable. Coming to another little creek crossing. We have switched spots, and RJ is now getting all of the spider webs. He thought I was being a wussy about the spider webs, but now he's experiencing it for himself, and he's not happy about it. Interestingly enough, one of my favorite adventures with RJ happened down at Lake of the Ozarks. There's a famous area called Lover's Leap. It was kind of an abandoned property for a while, and you know, high school kids used to hang out there. If you've ever seen the show Ozark, it is the cliff at the end of the first episode. It's a beautiful view over Lake of the Ozarks. And I took him down there to meet my family. And at the time, it was, I think, purchased. And so there was a little bit of, you know, probably shouldn't have been in that area necessarily. So I was very cautious about using lights and being loud and this and that. And this is probably not a great area to go in when it's super dark. And so we did, and because it was so dark, I got very turned around. And mind you, he had never been to this area before, didn't know where he was at. And I ended up tripping over kind of like, they had like a wire to mark off the area. And he's very tall, so he just stepped over it. And I tripped. And I thought I had completely knocked out my front teeth. Thankfully, that's not what happened. We continued to be lost for about 10 to 15 minutes until I figured out that I knew where I was at. So thankfully, we got back to the car and all the things were good. I had a huge bruise on my leg and it was not super fun. but he definitely didn't trust me to take him places in the woods for a while because of that experience. So he does come out with me on hikes every once in a while, but I don't blame him for being a little cautious. And so today I told him, hey, I'm gonna go out to this place I've never gone to, and I think he was maybe thinking twice about that. I don't know what happened here, but those are definitely lunar moth wings. I think somebody had a snack, unfortunately, and the moth did not win. I didn't get it on video, but there was a raccoon standing right in the path. Normally you don't see raccoons during the day. He did scurry away very quickly, so that means he was a-okay. Most of the time when you do see them during the day, they might have something kind of going on with them. But like I said, I saw the tracks earlier, but the reason why they're over here is because raccoons are actually very clean. They like to be around water sources because they like to clean their food off, and then they'll even clean their hands off. A lot of reasons why you'll see their tracks in the mud is because they're trying to get the scent of food off of their hands. And so yes, they're clean, but it's mostly because they don't want to smell like what they're eating. And so they'll use things like mud to get that smell off of their hands, and then they will find a water source just like this one right here, and clean their hands and clean their food, which is really cool because a lot of people think of them as just kind of scavengers who are in their trash can, but in their true form they are scavengers, but in the woods, in the wilderness. Up on another stream. Very cool. You know, the people that don't think Missouri is beautiful, I swear, they're just not looking hard enough. More of these little red mushrooms. Well, this is the trail, but it's also a waterfall. Very cool. All right, guys, well, that was the trail for today. It was a little short, trying to just get back in the swing of things. It is like a very unknown gem out here in St. Charles County, and we both really enjoyed it. Not a herper's paradise for sure, but if you want to go on a nice walk in the woods and kind of get away from everything, I highly suggest this trail. This trail is maintained by volunteers, but it is a St. Charles County park. We really appreciate it. I also appreciate anybody who's watching. If you could please like, subscribe, all of the things. I will see you in the next one. Bye.